Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Thank y'all, everybody, for staying with us. You know, we had to normally we'll come out of that break a little sooner, but Ruben is in here loving Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos, and so you know he doesn't know that his mic's not on yet. So, but
Death Row.
now his
What
mic's
a brother
on,
know.
and now everybody hates me for turning his mic on. But this is time for the rants, and it's time for the closings, and we'll have a special word from our sister SY during her rant as we close out the show. But we'll move before we get to that. We'll have words from Tony and Ruben. Tony, you're up first, my sister. What you got?
I had so much fun. Like, you guys are like just life. Like, every Monday is just such a struggle for me, especially after I get off work. I'm always like, oh my, I just want to go to bed right now and sleep until Sunday. But I get here and just all the love and excitement and the craziness and the intelligence. I love it. You guys are wonderful. And it's fall, and I love fall. Fall is my favorite time of year. I just love all the changes that are outside. I love the weather. But I will say, be careful because the deers are coming. As in, hitting them with your car.
The what?
Deers. Deers. You know, deers. Like fawns and does and
I mean,
bucks.
not trying to be that guy, but you don't need an S on deer.
Really?
Yeah, no, really. Deer is a
Anyway,
plural.
Seriously, no. Lots of accidents happen as a result of deer around this time of the year. Some people trying to avoid them, and they might have a more serious accident. But just wanted to remind you, watch out for the deer. If the deer comes out, hit it. Don't swerve. Hit the deer. And people who know what I do for a living, my regular job, understand why I say that. But yeah, it's fall. Enjoy it, and I think time goes back
Next Sunday. Next Saturday into Sunday.
What? This coming weekend or next?
Yeah.
Back?
Fall back.
Fall back.
Wait.
Yes.
Okay, sleep a little longer.
Yeah, because we get an hour.
No, because when you fall back, you actually lose sleep.
Wait, so no, that's not right. You stupid.
Stop messing me up. Anyway, I had a great time, y'all. Have a great week.
Ain't no half step on Marcus J. Big Rule. It's time for you to do your part of the show that we affectionately like to call the smash. It's time for you to smash it, man.
We're gonna just smash him. Go.
You know, I would say something real positive on that, but you really can't do that. Now, you know, we have this epidemic going around. I don't really know how we can cure it. And I don't know really if we should. Well, we probably should just because it's kind of it's frowned upon, you know, and it's becoming more commonplace all over the place, and I don't understand why. And I guess it's a touchy subject because I don't really know, you know, really what we as people should do about it. But, you know, the amount of teachers having sex with their students is going up like crazy. And it's literally once, twice a week you hear about some teacher getting caught having sex with their students. And I'm just kind of like, well, first of all, who ratted? Who told everybody that, you know? You would think a lot of cases the students are actually doing it because they're, yeah, man, I'm banging this teacher. Idiot, you know. But more importantly, what drives a woman to want to have sex with a child, you know? Yeah, they may be 16, 17, 18. They may have bodies like men, but when it's all said and done, they've been on this planet for a short amount of time, and they're still children. And then, what makes a woman really just brings her self-esteem so low that they feel like they can't get men to partner with, men as in technically over 18, but you know, of course, real men are probably a little bit older than that. But it's crazy, you know, because last week, you know, you got two women, no, 2 weeks ago, excuse me, you have two women, a 32-year-old who was married with two kids, and a 24-year-old. You know, they got arrested for having sex with the same student. And, you know, one teacher had them this year and the teacher had them the year before. And the thing about it was, you know, apparently after a football game or something, they went back to the 24-year-old's place and had themselves a menage a trois. And, you know, 3 people. Just letting you know. That's why. And, you know, it's crazy because it's like, what does this 17-year-old kid have clearly that makes one a 24-year-old, and that's still too close, but the 32-year-old who already has 2 kids and a husband, you know, to me that's a little crazy. And it wasn't the first time they did it. They just, you know, somebody told on and they got arrested. And then recently, last week, another teacher having sex with a 17-year-old student. You know, she was 24. She was not cute whatsoever. I mean, but I don't understand what can maybe it's something in which is the mental facilities are just not positive. But when it's all said and done, you know, ladies, I mean, I understand. I get it. There are not a lot of men left on this planet who are single and all that stuff. I understand that. I get it. But that doesn't mean you have to go to the low ranks to get yourself a man. And it's not even a man. It's just mostly sex, from what I understand. I mean, it's not like that dude's got a job supporting you and stuff like that. And
he could be in the co-op.
I mean, he could be, but I doubt it. But then on top of that, you know, years ago, of course, you having, at least they're not having, you know, clearly using protection, or he is using other methods, pull out, and, you know, they're not having kids. So is because a couple years ago, that one chick had a kid by a 15, 16-year-old kid, which is crazy. You know, I don't understand. I don't get it. I just hope that, you know, as much as women tell men, hey, look, you know, you need to keep yourself together, you know, that sort of thing. Ladies, you need to keep yourself together. Just because you see some 17-year-old kid, you know, with like 12 abs and, you know, 2% body fat, that doesn't mean you need to go after that. You know, at least wait till they get at least 19. You know, 18 is still kind of sketchy because if they're in high school, it's still illegal. At least wait till they at least graduate, and then do what you want. Nobody cares. But, you know, it's just, to me, it's just sad because there are a whole lot of other men on this planet who are single, such as myself, and, you know, would love to have a nice young woman with a job, yet, you know, they go to kids without jobs who still live at home with their parents, and they get allowance, and you give them grades every day. I don't understand it. But look, it ain't safe no more. Y'all getting caught like it's real. So if you're doing this, stop. And if you're not doing this, don't. You know, look around, go to church, go to a club, do something. Just don't go to that club where that preacher was, because you might catch something there. You know, it's big roofs, smash. I mean, I'm just saying, look, there are men out there for everybody. Just make sure that you don't need to be in the car while they drive.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Big Rube in a smash. Thank you for smashing on my brother. And it's time for our sister SY to jump in and let us know why she's so happy right now. Of course, we're going to have an abbreviated segment that she would normally have earlier in the show, but we're going to talk about some things right now. So I'm going to have you jump in. I'm going to play your music while you do your segment.
I will play my music, baby. So, you know, guys, you know, like Ruben said, there's something going around. There's a whole lot of it going around. We may not be able to prevent it, but we can help ourselves to a certain extent.
Ebola.
So what I want to talk about real quick, is your immune system. You know, some things, like I said, we can prevent, some things we can't. But do your best that you can so that some things don't attack you as hard as they do, and you can kind of get rid of them. So let's talk real quick about your immune system. And a healthy immune system defends against viruses that may be caused by colds or flus. So what I'm going to do is just give you some quick things to do to help build your immune system. It's fall. There's all kinds of stuff in the air all throughout the year. So let's try to help ourselves out. And the first thing I want you to do is make sure you're eating plenty of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Not a Twinkie. Whole grains. And if you just don't like them, I know you like Cheerios. Go get some Cheerios. Snack on Cheerios. Have some whole wheat pasta, whole wheat bread, brown rice. Make sure your oatmeal is steel cut. Popcorn, crackers, and corn chips. All right. Exercise at least 30 minutes a day if you can, every day. If you can't do it every day, try to get at least 5 days. 30 minutes. 30 minutes comes and goes so fast. You can do jumping jacks. You can do some sit-ups. You can stretch. All those things count towards exercise. Make sure you're getting the right amount of sleep. For an adult, you need at least 8 hours sleep. If you're a teenager, that teen goes to school, they need to really have somewhere between 9 and 10 hours of sleep. They can't concentrate when they get to school the next day without it. Preschool children, 11 to 12 hours of sleep. And if you have a baby, you're looking at 16 to 18 hours. Make sure your baby is getting the proper amount of rest. Wash your hands regularly. Please go out the house, come back in and wash your hands. Don't stick your hands in your mouth. Don't rub your hands over everything you see. Touch your face, touch your baby. You know how people come up and say, oh, look at your little baby, want to put their hands in their face. Back up, Charlie. So make sure you're washing your hands. Keep your children up on their immunization. If you don't know, you can go. If you don't know when your child should have a shot, go on to, actually the CDC has a listing of when you should have your shots, at what age the shot should be. Keep your weight healthy. And basically, this is how I figure this out. A healthy person, a person who is not considered obese, you can have anywhere between 1,200 and 1,600 calories a day. Now, there are guidelines for the calories to keep your immune system healthy. So you might want to also take a look at myplate.gov and try to get those guidelines as well. If you're obese, then you're looking somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 calories a day to help kind of bring your weight down and build your immune system. Do not smoke. Smoking, we all know, is bad for us. Do not drink a lot of alcohol. Make sure you're getting the nutrients that your body needs as well. Make sure that your dinner plate, your lunch plate, make sure that each time you eat, there's a fruit, there's vegetables, there's some protein, there's some grains. And again, you could use what the Hades are you doing, man? Y'all should see Marcus. He is so, don't take him anywhere. But go to myplate.gov again, and you can get the breakdown for what you should have on your plate. Check your vitamins and your minerals. Make sure that you're having enough. You should be having your regular doctor's checkups. We all have them. We all have a time when we should be going to the doctor. You can check the CDC's website again for that, and speak to your doctor about your health, particularly to find out about the proper nutrients and vitamins that you should have. Remember, you can OD. Don't think just because, wintertime's coming, let me just pop up some vitamin C's. That is a major no-no. So if you want to go on supplements and you want to get the supplement that's right for you, then you might want to speak to your doctor. Every supplement that's out there is not good for you. And then remember, just because some things are natural and they're healthy does not mean that they're healthy for you. All right. Some things work against maybe ailments that you may have. And again, stay away from the Twinkies. But manage your stress. And I'm sorry, there's a hen in the house. Manage your stress. Now, I'm going to be the biggest hypocrite on the stress part, because when something really digs at me It digs at me. And I'm learning. So manage your stress. You know, we all get stressed, and it said that little things happening every now and again is okay. But if there's something major that's happening and it bothers you, and it bothers you consistently, that is a major no-no, and it can hamper your immune system. So try to bring your stress level down. And to help do that, again, make sure you get enough sleep. Learn some relaxation techniques. Even if you just go somewhere and sit down by yourself for 5 minutes, just come down, breathe, just come down. You're by yourself. Nobody can see. So relax yourself. Bring yourself down. Don't forget exercise. Always find a way to make time for yourself. Do things that make you happy, and it'll kind of bring all that other bad stuff, out of the way. If you have friends, if you have positive friends, let me say that, then you can get some of that stress out on them. If they're your friends, you can do that. And if all else fails, consider some counseling. We all have EAP where we work. Nobody has to know who you're talking to, what you're talking about, but consider it. But just to keep yourself healthy, do those little things, and you'll be a much happier you. Until Monday.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Not until Monday. Until when?
Oh, until Saturday, y'all. With Conversations from Your Sisters with myself, SY, and Lissa P. We are going to have a nice show for you Saturday live, 3 p.m. Don't forget, get your tune in ready, set your reminders, do whatever you need to do, and I do expect some calls. Talk to you Saturday.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Thank y'all, everybody that's still with us, listen to us tonight. Special thanks to our listeners who checked in. Joy checked in. My sister Melanie in Chicago checked in. Michelle K checked in. And my brother Lumsey called in. Been trying to get that brother to call in for a while. And he
Lumsey was funny.
And checked in. Yeah, he's funny, man. That's my brother right there. So I appreciate him supporting. I know he listens to us every chance he gets. And so he called in tonight, and I want to give him some special love for doing that. And I'm just glad that he didn't shoot the white dude in his backyard. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live every single Monday, 7 to 9:30 plus. Right here, we are the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio, heard here on TuneIn, replayed on YouTube. Tuesday nights, we got in live in radio, hosted by Mr. LP Stephen Sykes, 7 to 9 on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, the Green Room version 2.0 with Jay Grizzy and Lissa P, the hottest, funniest comedy team in internet radio. Thursday, we got All Throttle Radio, which is the motorcycle show, motorcycle culture from the urban perspective. We replay all of our talk shows on Friday nights, starting around 5, 6 o'clock. We're going through the evening, replaying our talk shows. And then on Saturdays, we've got Did They Just Play That? Music only show, start midday. And then, of course, we've got Conversations from Your Sisters with SY and Lissa P from 3 to 4 every single Saturday. Relationships, health, beauty, everything you want to hear from a feminine perspective. The Throwback from 5 to 7. Old school hip-hop, old school disco, old school R&B every Saturday, 5 to 7. Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez every Saturday from 7 to 9, the anchor show of the Saturdays. We playing house music from 7 to 9 with DJ Renee Melendez. And, of course, following her show, we've got the Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Mix starting immediately following Deep House Sessions at 9 p.m. We go all night with Bob Marley and reggae music. Ain't no telling what you might hear. You might hear some roots. You might hear some dancehall. All through the night into the morning. And then, of course, on Sundays, we just been playing, old school R&B mixes, hip-hop mixes. So we just encourage you to listen to our station whenever you have an opportunity. Download the TuneIn application, download it, carry us wherever you go. Ain't no half step with Marcus J, of course, the flagship show, but I just ran down the list, so there's plenty to listen to. At this time of the show, it's time for me to get into my rant, and it's time for me to get into my closing. So I appreciate you allowing me to just jump in here just a few minutes. And of course, I'm not going to take long. The last few weeks, I promised to not take long, and I have not, in fact, taken long. And usually I end it by saying it had nothing to do with what we talked about today, but Today, I'm actually going to talk about something that we talked about today. I'm still on this Columbus Day thing, y'all. Surprisingly, in Seattle, Washington, they have gone to the people in Seattle, and by unanimous vote for the city council, Seattle made Indigenous Peoples Day a reality. They follow Minneapolis, which passed a similar resolution earlier this year. So instead of celebrating Columbus Day on the second Monday in October, the city will honor Native Americans and their culture. Obviously, Columbus Day has increasingly been criticized as a holiday that's honoring a man who perpetuated the extermination of indigenous people and indigenous populations after landing in the New World in 1492. Indigenous people faced large-scale exploitation, rape, brutality, disease, slavery, and death on a daily basis after Europeans began settling in the Americas. So I'm very, very happy and very, very proud of the people in Seattle, Washington for doing that. And I guess the other thing that I wanted to kind of touch on is, we had a lot of people who saw the Washington Redskins owner, Daniel Snyder, sitting with Ben Shelley, who is the president of the Navajo Nation, yesterday during the Washington Redskins game in Arizona. Snyder and Shelley, who wearing Redskin hats, pictured together, and of course they're protesting outside of the stadium there in Glendale. Here's what I'll say about that. I caught some flack from some of my white brothers and sisters who said that I was being a little bit sensitive about the name. And the only thing that I'll say to them is this: if you're a part of the majority culture in the country, it's difficult for you to understand what it's like for those folks in the minority culture. And I don't think that I'm a minority in the sense of the world, but in this country, I understand numbers. So in the sense of that, in that sense, I'll say that we are a minority for the point of making for the point of making this point. If you're in the minority culture, it's very difficult for you to understand what it's like for a minority to have feelings about things that go on in the country. Look at it this way. If you find yourself in a room full of people who like sports, and you don't like sports, and you don't want to watch sports, guess what? You're going to watch sports. Is it fun for you to have to watch if you don't want to? Probably not, but it kind of is what it is. That's how we feel sometimes when you take the tack that, get over it. Slavery was just slavery. Get over it. Reparations, you don't need it. Get over it. Redskins, it's just a name. Get over it. No, we're not going to get over it because we have every single right to be offended by it. And just because you have some folks inside the culture who are not offended does not mean that others aren't. And those others who do have every single right to voice their opinion. And that's something that should be taken seriously. That's my word. That's what I'm going to say. And that's the way I'm going to leave it. Independence is key to building your legacy, y'all. I want to say peace to all the stars and all the squares. The abundance of water, fool is thirsty. Those are words of Bob Marley, who you hear singing in the background. Ain't no half steppin' with Marcus J. We'll be back right here next week. Peace.